The Haunted Doll of Okiku. In the early 1910s, a young girl named Okiku from Hokkaido, Japan, adored a doll her brother had given her. The doll, with shoulder-length black hair and a traditional kimono, became Okiku's constant companion. Tragically, Okiku died of a sudden illness. Grieving her loss, the family placed the doll in a shrine in her memory, praying to it daily. Soon after Okiku's death, the family noticed something strange. The doll's hair, originally cut to shoulder length, began to grow. Over time, the hair extended down to the doll's waist. They tried trimming it, but the hair always grew back. Even more unsettling, the family sometimes heard soft whispers and footsteps around the doll, though no one was there. Fearing the doll was possessed by Okiku's spirit, the family gave it to a nearby temple. There, the hair continued to grow, and the eerie occurrences persisted. The temple monks cut the hair regularly, but they too believed the doll was haunted by the girl's restless soul. Scientists examined the doll and confirmed that the hair was human, though they couldn't explain how it continued to grow. Visitors to the temple have reported feeling a cold presence near the doll or hearing faint, giggling sounds. To this day, Okiku's doll remains in the temple, its hair growing, watched over by monks and feared by those who visit. The ghosts of the Tower of London. The Tower of London, with its nearly 1,000-year history, is home to some of England's most tragic and violent events. From political intrigue to grisly executions, the tower's stone walls have seen it all, and some say the spirits of those who perished there still remain. Perhaps the most famous ghost to haunt the tower is Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII, and was arrested and brought to the tower in 1536. Accused of adultery and treason. She was beheaded on Tower Green, and her body was buried in an unmarked grave at the chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula within the tower's grounds. Since her execution, countless visitors and guards have reported seeing her ghost wandering the tower, especially near the chapel where she was laid to rest. Witnesses often describe Anne's ghost as an elegant, headless figure, dressed in a long white gown, holding her severed head in her hands. She is said to walk the corridors with a regal air, sometimes pausing to gaze out of the windows, as if longing for freedom. The sight of her ghost is chilling, and those who have seen her speak of a sense of deep sadness that lingers after her apparition vanishes. But Anne Boleyn is not the only spirit that haunts the tower. In 1483, two young princes, Edward V and his brother Richard, were locked away in the tower by their uncle, Richard III, after their father, King Edward IV, died. The boys were never seen again. Historians believe they were murdered on their uncle's orders, but their bodies were never found. Their disappearance remains one of England's greatest mysteries. Over the centuries, several people have reported seeing the ghosts of the two young princes, often dressed in white nightgowns, huddled together, looking lost and afraid. They're usually spotted near the Bloody Tower, where they were last seen alive. Some visitors have heard the soft cries of children or seen small footprints appear on the dusty floors, despite no one being present. Other notable ghosts include Lady Jane Grey, the 9 Days Queen, who was executed at the Tower in 1554. Her ghost is said to appear on the anniversary of her execution, standing at a window in the Queen's house, staring out with a sorrowful expression. With centuries of bloodshed and betrayal, the Tower of London remains one of the most haunted locations in the world, its dark history forever etched into its stone walls. The Cursed Road of Clinton Road, New Jersey. Clinton Road in West Milford, New Jersey, is notorious for its eerie atmosphere, paranormal sightings, and mysterious happenings. Stretching for 10 miles through dense woods, the road feels isolated, as if it exists in a different time and place. Those who travel down it after dark report strange occurrences that defy explanation. One of the most famous legends of Clinton Road is the ghost boy at the bridge. According to local lore, a young boy drowned in the stream beneath the bridge while trying to retrieve a coin that had been tossed into the water. Ever since, people claim that if you throw a coin into the stream at midnight, the boy's ghost will throw it back. Some who have tried this dare say they've heard the sound of a coin hitting the ground behind them or felt a cold, ghostly hand brush against theirs. But the ghost boy isn't the only paranormal entity said to haunt Clinton Road. Many drivers report seeing strange, shadowy figures lurking in the woods or along the roadside. These figures vanish when approached, leaving an unsettling feeling behind. Some have even claimed to see ghostly animals, their eyes glowing red in the dark, only for them to disappear moments later. There are also stories of phantom vehicles, particularly black trucks that seem to appear out of nowhere, tailgating drivers and chasing them down the road. Just as the terrified drivers think they're about to be run off the road, the trucks vanish without a trace. People who have experienced this say that the trucks don't have license plates, and no matter how fast you drive, they stay right behind you until they decide to disappear. Clinton Road has a long history of dark and strange events. In the 1980s, a cyclist discovered a body in the woods near the road. It turned out to be the victim of a notorious mafia hitman known as the Iceman, who used the area as a dumping ground for his victims. The discovery only added to the road's sinister reputation. The road is also linked to the ruins of Cross Castle, a once grand mansion built in the early 1900s. The castle burned down in the 1980s, but before it did, it became a hotspot for local legends about satanic rituals and paranormal activity. Visitors to the ruins often reported hearing eerie chanting, seeing strange symbols painted on the walls, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. Whether it's the ghost boy at the bridge, the phantom trucks, or the chilling legends of Cross Castle, Clinton Road remains one of the most haunted and feared places in the United States. To this day, locals advise against traveling the road at night, for fear of what might be lurking in the shadows.